Hello there, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna take you through all of the things that I prep for back to school. These are things that I get done in advance in bulk so that it makes my life easier later on in the school year. I think my plan will be to record this over several days so I can show you the different things that I'm prepping, but I'm not doing this all in one day. But that way you get an idea of some of the things that you can maybe do in advance just to make your life easier later on. So without further ado, because I've got a whole table full of stuff, let's jump into it. So currently, it is Tuesday, July 29th. I actually came into my classroom this morning and recorded my day 2 of classroom setup vlog. There are a total of 3 days, so go back and watch those vlogs if you missed them. But when I was unpacking things from my bag, you may have seen I had prepped some labels and tags and things for back to school prep. So today, my goal is to get prepped my student birthday cups, which if you've been around for a while, you already know what these look like and you'll see me put them together, but I've been doing them for years. I wanna get prepped the class keychains. I give each of my students a keychain, and then also some pencils that I will give them at the end of the week. So let me kind of show you the spread of all of this stuff and explain a little bit more. Now it is worth noting, I'm collaborating a little more than I have in the past with my switch teacher. So currently, because we are departmentalized, each teacher has a switch teacher. So that means you're gonna switch students halfway through the day. So I will be teaching my homeroom students math, science, and then social studies, and then we will swap and I will teach my switch teacher's students just math and science. Basically, every homeroom teacher is teaching social studies to their class this year. She is the reading teacher, so she is teaching reading while I am teaching math and science. But in the past, like last year with my switch teacher, I was kind of doubling up on things, like we were both giving them some kind of a birthday treat, and this year my switch teacher and I, which we were not switch teachers last year, my switch teacher from last year is now in 3rd grade. My switch teacher this year, we were like, hey, why don't we just do the same thing, and then that way we only have to do it for our homeroom class. And I was like, done. Plus, we're also kind of dividing and conquering some of the materials that we have to prep. So like she's prepping some of it and I'm prepping some of it. So let me show you what I want to get done. So I mentioned the student birthday cups. Ironically, my switch teacher also was planning to give them birthday cups. So it worked out well. She is gonna give the birthday cups to her homeroom students, and I'm gonna give the birthday cups to my homeroom students. So this is a box of the actual plastic cups. I have tissue paper and it has like glitter in it, so it's kind of meant to mimic like the whipped cream. The pencil is like the straw. Now I have one left over from last year, and then I did purchase some more birthday pencils. On top of the pencil will go one of these erasers. They're like little cupcakes and swirls and whatnot. The tag will get taped on the outside, and then inside, under the tissue paper, will be a ring pop, and then these are little like pop-it keychains. Now, I have not previously done these in the birthday cups, but my team teacher did, and she had extra, so that worked out perfectly. Then I also need to prep the keychains. So last year, you may remember, I gave each of my students, both my homeroom class and my switch class, one of these keychains. Now it says proud member of the 4 Emerson family, and then they'd put it on their backpack or their lunch bag or even their pencil pouch. And the little tag said, you were the missing link in our class chain, love Mrs. Emerson. Now this year, my team teacher and I, or switch teacher and I, decided let's just do the same keychain and it'll be from both of us. That way we just have to prep enough for both classes, and I volunteered to prep them for both of our classes. So I'm gonna make, I don't know, 45-ish of the keychains, but basically there are the same tag, all I did was change the name, and then for the actual keychain tag, it says proud member of the Otimer class family, because we kind of combined our names and that's what we will be calling ourselves. And then I have some curling ribbon to attach that. Now I have extra keychains from last year, so these are all brand new keychains. And then I have some key tags left over from last year, but I'm gonna hold on to those because next year we will be self-contained. So I will go back to the 4 Emerson family. But I will link the keychains for you along with all of this stuff. Like anything you see, if I can link it, I will. Then she prepped the All About Me bag. So these go in the folders that we hand them during our welcome walk, which welcome walk is when we go and our students find out who their teacher is. We hand them an envelope with all of the papers, like our Meet the Teacher letter and so on. And these All About Me bags will go in there.
It is about us all.
And then we will also put the keychains in there as well. Then, because I was at Target and came across these apple scented pencils and I just could not resist. They were so adorable, perfect for back to school. I went ahead and grabbed enough for both of our classes and I told my switch teacher, hey, I will just prep them for both of our classes and we can hand them out on like Friday of the first week of school, just as a little treat. So I made these little tags that say, you are just right for our class with lots of love. And then I put it from both of us. And then I just cut a little slit where I will slide the pencil in, but I did recently get a new hole punch that's a little bit thicker so that you can fit a pencil through it. So in the future, that's how I will be doing it. But if you are interested in these tags, they are created in Canva. I will link an editable template that you can grab so that you can use the same ones. So I'm gonna start with, I think, the keychains, because those are kind of the most daunting, and the birthday cups are gonna take up a lot of space. So I wanna clear off the table before we start on those. Okay, so I'm gonna start in the bag that I had left over from last year. And the keychains come in a little baggie like this. So I have to take them out of the baggie. And then on the inside is the keychain, and then this piece just pops out. It's like the cover. So you put the paper inside of there and then attach the cover. So just as an example, I guess I'll do it this way with the apple toward the keychain. I like to keep them all kind of the same way. Okay, let's try this in first. Okay, there we go. I was gonna say that one was a little tricky. And then there's your keychain. So I'm gonna start by putting all of the little pictures inside, which do I have a template for this? I probably do with Canva, but it's like the, not passport photo size. There was a specific photo size that fits in here. I just looked at the listing on Amazon for the keychains and then made it the same, size. But I'm gonna go ahead and get these done first, and then I will attach them to the tags. Keychains are mostly done. I did run out of the actual plastic keychains, had to order more on Amazon. I thought I had enough, but obviously, even though I teach math, I was wrong. So I have about 15 more to finish up, but obviously I already have everything cut and prepped. It's just a matter of assembling them, but I have enough to be able to go ahead and give like 24 of them to my team teacher so that she has them. Next up, I think we're gonna go ahead and put the pencils in the tags, because again, hopefully, fingers crossed, it should be quick and easy. Pencils are all done. So we've got 24 for my class, 24 for my switch teacher's class. And again, I'm not sure exactly when we're giving these to students. We could have them on their desk for the first day of school, or we could give them to our students on like the Friday of the first week. But regardless, they are done. And I can attest, if you find these at Target, they do smell really good and they smell exactly like apples. I kind of forgot they were scented. And when I opened up the package, I was like, ooh, what is that smell? So I will link the editable tag if you are interested in the description box. So I've moved the pencils over. I'm kind of just creating stacks over there of stuff that I'll need for later on to get it out of the way. Last but not least for today is assembling my birthday cups. And I think my plan is to just kind of assembly line it, like lay out all the cups, put all of the candy inside, put the Poppets in, put the tissue paper inside, put the tops on, pencil in, eraser on the pencil, and then attach the tags last. So I'm not quite done putting in the tissue paper and the tops. Yes, there is glitter everywhere. I still think it's worth it. And then I still need to put the tops on, but I just had an epiphany and now I feel kind of dumb. All of a sudden I was like, wait, can't I just slip in the little paper that says, you know, happy birthday from Mrs. Emerson? These tags are on my website, by the way, so I will link those. Rather than taping them to the outside, I can literally just slip them inside. So I think that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna open these back up and slip them in there, but I feel like that's easier than trying to tape it. All right, birthday cups are all done, and I did opt to just slide the tag on the inside, much easier than taping it. And I feel like I don't have to worry about it getting ripped or torn as I store these away. For now, I'm gonna leave them here on my back table because I'm still gonna come in for another day of classroom setup, and I'm gonna end up reorganizing like this cabinet, and hopefully we'll find some space to be able to put those in there. But the good news is I do have extras, probably, fingers crossed, enough for next year, because these ring pops are a pack of 50. So I know I have enough of those for next year. I definitely have enough pencils. I think I had prepped enough tags for 2 classes worth. So that should be good for next year. I've still got plenty of the pencil toppers, and then I've got plenty of the cups, and you can't see it, but the tissue paper is stored in there as well. So I will be good to go for next year. I am back. I don't even remember the last day that I vlogged, but it is now Wednesday, August 6th. I haven't been in my classroom for several days. I didn't come in over the weekend. Monday, we were at a conference for our entire district. And then yesterday, we had some offsite PD. So today is actually our first day back on campus. And therefore, I am back in prep mode. I did prep some things at home over the weekend, some little labels and such. And then this morning, first thing when I got to school, now I got here early, so I knew I would not have to fight anyone for the copier, but I wanted to get some copies made because I know this afternoon, with it being the first day that we're all back on campus, the copier is gonna be slammed. So tip, if you can go at an off-peak time, whether that's before school, a little bit early, if you can come in at a different time, try to do that because it will save you from having to wait in line for the copier. But let me show you what I have prepped since we last spoke. First, the rest of the keychains came in, so those have been prepped. I did print out the new updated little signs that I put out at Howdy, which is when our students drop off their school supplies. That is on Monday. For now, I just put in fake QR codes, but I link them to our after school departure form, our parent questionnaire, and then my Amazon wish list. I also prepped, this is new, I did not do this last year, but these little printables of my Amazon wish list so that families can actually take one with them. I will link this for you. I just made it in Canva, and I definitely saw this before, like it was not my original idea. but it says, help us have an amazing year, but it's like a play off of the Amazon logo. Scan the QR code to donate an item from our classroom Amazon wish list. Thank you in advance for your amazing support. Love, Mrs. Emerson. I have a QR code, but I also put a bit.ly link. That way, if someone wants to access it not from their phone, they can just type in that link on their computer. So I'm gonna have those out in front of that sign at Howdy, but I am going to be recording vlogs for both Welcome Walk, which we'll talk about in a second, and Howdy. So be on the lookout for those for more details of what all I'm doing. I also prep tags for the little treat that my Switch teacher and I are going to have out for Howdy. They're gonna be little Pringle, like the individual Pringle canisters, and they're gonna be flipped upside down and made into cowboy hats. So this is going to be the tag. It says saddle up for a stacktastic year, partner, and then it has our name. So we are still working on creating the actual like Pringles cowboy hats, but I have the tags ready to go, printed, cut, the little hole is punched in them. I did get some twine to attach those to the hats, and I just got this 3-pack of twine on Amazon, so I have some different color options. We're gonna have to look at what looks best with the hat, but then I will use this for attaching a bunch of little gift tags. In fact, I also made gift tags for first day of school, like little nifty gifty that I'm gonna give my team teacher. So these will be used throughout the year for various things. Then I mentioned this morning, I went and made copies. So I made copies both for myself and my Switch teacher. Also, just a heads up, you're gonna hear me sometimes say Switch teacher, sometimes say partner teacher. They mean the same thing. It's just the teacher that I buddy up with who will teach reading. But I printed out our Meet the Teacher letter. Now this is like a fake one that I did just to be able to show you all. But this is going to go in an envelope that we will hand to students and families during our Welcome Walk. So our Welcome Walk is when we reveal who each student's teacher is by showing up at their door. It's like a school tradition and the students love it, I love it. It's one of my favorite times. So if you're curious for more information on that, stay tuned because a vlog is coming. But on the front, we each have just a box with kind of our bio, information about us. We have information about Howdy, like when it is, what to do, where our rooms are, etc. And again, I've just kind of blanked out the information, and then let me show you the back. So on the back, we have the same QR codes, at least here, that I have on the signs that will be out at Howdy, but this way families can get a head start on it. Again, I've swapped out the QR codes and then I've hidden the links, but just like on the signs, I have both a QR code and a bit.ly link. So we link to our parent questionnaire. It's like an all about me form so that we can learn about their student, the after school departure form, and then we also recorded a little video. This was something different this year. It's just a quick 30-second video of us saying, hey, I'm, Mrs. Emerson, I'm gonna teach you math, science, and social studies. And it's just kind of introducing ourselves, but that way they can see both of our faces because we only go to our homeroom students' houses for Welcome Walk. So they may not know who their Switch teacher is. So it's just a way to kind of introduce ourselves. And we just recorded it on our phones, uploaded it into Google Drive, and then created the link from there. But again, this is just a fake QR code that I've put in for now. And then just like last year, we are having students send in a family photo. I display it on my family fridge. Let me show you that. So this is my family fridge that I have on display in my classroom. These are just metal wire racks that I got on Amazon, and then I clip the pictures to them. Usually I put the family photos on the left, and then I use the right for any like things that my students have drawn or created for the class. They go up on there. And then the last thing is the reminder about the All About Me bag. I've shown that before and I'll show it again in my Welcome Walk vlog, but it's just a brown paper lunch bag with a label on it with directions. Students are gonna fill it with 3 items that represent themselves. The other paper that I made copies of is our Howdy checklist. So this will be out on student desks during Howdy, which is when they come and drop off their school supplies. And it has a checklist for them to follow. So they're gonna unpack their supplies and fill up their fabric pencil case. We're gonna have them write their name on it with a Sharpie, and then we tell them exactly what items to put in there, and then all the extras are gonna get put in a separate bin. There's directions at the bottom, but I've put just these little like kind of emoji looking icons as visuals for each of those. We tell them what to put in their cubby, what to leave on their desk, and then we give them a checklist before they leave. They're gonna recycle their packaging. They're gonna put the extras in bins that we have out. They're gonna bring it to me, get a picture, and then go to my Switch teacher's room to introduce themselves. Also at Howdy, I'm gonna have some water bottles out for families to take. So I created these little labels that I'm gonna wrap around and tape onto them. It just says, welcome to 4th grade. And yes, this is super cheesy. Get ready to quench your thirst for learning. Y'all, just let me have this one, okay? The only reason I'm doing that, because I did not do it last year, is because I found a flat of water bottles in my classroom and I kind of want to get rid of them to create space. So that is the next thing on my list. I'm gonna go ahead and get these on the water bottles. Here is the finished product. I just attached the label with one piece of tape in the back. Super easy. I think total, it took me like 4 minutes to wrap all 24 water bottles. I did want to mention a little bit of digital prep that I am doing, and it's not stuff I can show you because obviously personal information is involved, but I'll give you the general idea. So one thing I do is I create Google calendars for all of our testing dates. Now we have a master calendar for our school with all of the school events. So I don't have to worry about putting those onto my Google Calendar, but we will get spreadsheets with the individual testing days for each grade level because they may be slightly different. And then we also have assessment maps for our math curriculum and our science curriculum. I like to put all of that onto Google Calendars. That way I'm reminded of it and I can easily toggle it on and off when I want or do not want to see it by showing or hiding the calendar. Another Google Calendar I make is with all of my students' birthdays. And actually I made one Google Calendar with all of my homeroom students and all of the students in my Switch class. And I'm just sharing that Google Calendar with my Switch teacher so that we're all on the same page. All of our student birthdays are on there. And again, it just helps us to kind of keep track of it because when I create my classroom calendar, let me show you that. I get asked a lot about where this calendar came from. It's from TPT. So I just printed out the background pieces, laminated them, and taped them to the board. The numbers I printed on cardstock, laminated, and attached a magnet to the back. So when it's time to change out the month, I can just move around the numbers. And then I typically will put a sticky note on the day with any events that are happening. But technically, because these are laminated, I could write on it with a dry erase marker. I just prefer to write on a sticky note, but I will put up here any due dates for assignments, testing days, student birthdays, school events, etc. And when I'm creating this, I go off of my Google Calendar. So it's nice for me to have everything in one place. Another digital thing I do to prep is creating a contact list. So once I have access to my class list through our attendance gradebook system, I will go into my Google Contacts and create contacts for all of my students' family members that I have on their contact list. Now, I enter it in kind of a special way. So rather than putting just the parent's name, first and last name, I will actually put it in as their first name. We'll say the student's name and then mom or dad or whatever their relation is. So for example, it could say Billy's mom. I'm using Billy because that's my husband's name. Then in the last name box, in parentheses, I put that parent's actual name. And the reason I do that is because oftentimes parent names or family member names might be very different than the actual student's name. And if you just put in the contact as the parent's name, then when you're going to contact that parent, you're wait, what was their name again? And then you have to go into your system and look it up. Whereas the way that I do it, when the first name is the student's name and then mom or dad or grandma or grandpa or aunt or uncle, and then the last name is the parent's actual name or the family member's name, that way, when I search, I could type in, so-and-so's mom, and it will come up. Or if I just think of that parent's name, I can type that in as well. Or I can then reference that when I'm writing the email, dear so-and-so, and I have it there in the contact. From there, I just copy and paste the email, and then I add them to, like, they call them labels on Google Contacts, but it's a way to like group contacts. So I make a group with all of my homeroom students, I make a group with all of my Switch students, so that way when I'm sending out, for example, like my weekly newsletter, I can send it to just my homeroom students. Or if I need to send a reminder to my Switch class, I can send it just to them. But when we send out those types of emails, we do BCC or blind copy, so that way they don't have access to everyone else's email that's on that email thread. They only see that it's, from me to them, and then they get the email attached. One of the last things that I am prepping is my Saving Fred activity for the first day of school. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you can either go back and watch last year's first day of school vlog, or just stay tuned because I am gonna vlog this year as well, and I'll share more about it then. But essentially it is a team building activity, and students need 2 paper clips, 1 gummy worm, 1 gummy lifesaver, and then this represents a boat. It's just a little plastic condiment cup. So I'm gonna pack all of that into the little cup and put the lid on it so that those are ready to go. So, finished product, it's just a little cup with a gummy worm, a lifesaver, and 2 paper clips inside. I had to be kind of selective with the lifesavers because some of them, the holes either weren't a hole or they were like kind of off, and so I tried to be fair and pick out ones that had holes that were nice and centered. But that's about it for my back to school prep. I mean, at this point, I feel pretty good with what I've gotten done. Of course, I could make a bunch more copies, for example, like our math notes for the year, our science notes for the year, but then I have to store that. And honestly, I think I'd rather just kind of go 1 unit at a time rather than trying to like bulk make copies for the entire year. Maybe at some point, if I like free up space and I can house all of that, it'll be a different story. But otherwise, I feel good. I feel like I'm in a good place. You'll see my full classroom tour video coming up soon. And then, as I mentioned, I will vlog for Welcome Walk, Howdy, and then the first day of school. So you'll get more details on all of that. But I really hope that this video was helpful for you. If it was, please give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Down in the description box, I will have the links to as many of the different templates and things as possible. For example, the Meet the Teacher letter I'll have in there, the water bottle labels I'll have in there, the pencil tags, some of the other little gift tags, so on and so forth. The only thing that won't really be in there are the little signs that I have for Howdy, and then also like the checklist, because that's just something that I create specifically for my school and what we do during the back to school season. But otherwise, the links will be down there for you. And as always, thank you for watching. I love you so much. Don't forget to put your positive pants on, and I'll catch you in the next one.